Greetings, rise and shine, brethren. We are the World Global Reset Restoration Network family, comprised of 198 sovereign nations with over 7 billion sovereign principles, being of one mind, one heart, and one spirit, walking together under the divine principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I come to you as a voice in the wilderness to introduce to you a man. No, not just any man, but a man sent by Yah Allah to redeem mankind. Dr. Hindu I.L. Henderson, the Adak Chief Justice of the Universal World Court, and who's also known as Yehoshua Mashiach, the Son of Man. The information that you will be receiving in this and other videos you won't get from anywhere else on the planet. Hear the many truths and fulfillment of the laws, judgments, and sentencings from our Creator, Father Yah, as well as the fulfillment of the true interpretation of the Holy Scriptures and books. Now, without further ado, Dr. Hindu I.L. Henderson with his beloved host, Shelley Bowling.
Well, this is the U.S. call, and to our U.S. family. What is coming at you right now in the next few months? For those that are not awake and not prepared, is going to hit like a freight train. Right now, coronavirus is affecting everything and everyone on this planet that is dealing with various things, from their healthcare systems, access to it, to the nations preparing for war. The nations are already in the first part of World War III. The United States has their soldiers now. Many of them are coming down with the coronavirus, and with that not being able to perform their duties. When you add on top of that their fighting force is already depleted because we do not have young people that are fit enough to be trained as soldiers. Dr. Henderson has already told you, America, or if you still want to call yourself the United States so-called government, that your offense is not strong enough to battle the defense of the nations of this planet. In addition to that, my American brothers and sisters, what you're seeing going on in your nation is going on under martial law. The Patriot Act that was signed by George W. Bush October 26th of 2001 was what put this nation, if you still want to call it a nation, under martial law. For those of you that do not know what martial law is, it has two definitions, both of which apply now. First definition, the law applied in occupied territory by the military authority of the occupying power. Of course, we know that the United States of America Corporation does not have a treaty, and therefore, ever since they have been here, they have been occupying sovereign land of other nations. The second definition, the law administered by military forces that is invoked by a government in an emergency when the civilian law enforcement agencies are unable to maintain public order and safety. Thus, what you see going on in Portland and in other areas around the country. In addition to that, and of course those of you that have listened to these calls for a while, you've heard Dr. Henderson tell you for years now that Barack Obama, through Brian Levin, qualified everyone in this area into a category and named whatever category they put them in, such as patriots or Christians or sovereign citizens or any other names of groups that he could assign them. He made them terrorists. Therefore, you find yourself under martial law and classified as a terrorist. The only ones that are not classified as terrorists are the sovereign principles under the global network through your indexing. So what you see, family, is a perfect storm for chaos in the coming months. These are the things that have been written in the holy books. And Dr. Henderson, who we also know to be Yehoshua Mashiach, has already explained to you the intentional division of putting the men against the women against the men. And this also is a fulfillment of prophecy. Mothers against daughters, fathers against sons, vice versa. The infighting within the family structure. This is at the apex, family, of the fight between the righteous and the unrighteous. There's a reason that Donald Trump is here. He came to drain the swamps. We also know that he is the sixth trumpet of the book of Revelation, and his job is to bring the nations to war, to destroy the wicked off of this planet. You have a massive number of trafficked human beings or people, mankind, that have been released now because of the work that has been done to drain the swamp. Many of the swamp monsters themselves have been perpetrators and heavily involved in human trafficking. Now, the fight that you're seeing right now over this so-called election, if you want to call it an election, coming up, are the swamp monsters trying to stay in power and put one of their own in to protect themselves from the coming axe that is falling, known as the wrath of Yah. That judgment has already been given. The sentencings are now being carried out. So all of this is now all tied together and going forward in one perfect storm of a battle that will end in the Battle of Armageddon. Dr. Henderson, who we call Yehoshua Mashiach because that's who he is, has been bringing you the truth for, well, ever since he's been 5 years old, let's just put it that way. He has been bringing the planet the truth. And those of you that have been listening to these calls all of these years, that have done your homework, you have proven that what he has said is true. He's brought you the true interpretation of the scriptures, and those scriptures are now playing out before your very eyes. Even the Pope himself, who plays into scripture very heavily as a representative of the beast system, Pope Benedict, I'm talking about the prior one prior to Francis, has had a horrific case of shingles. I don't know if any of you have had that, but it's extremely painful. And they said this was an acute case, which means he was in horrific pain. This is not something unto death, but it is horrible to deal with. That itself is part of a fulfillment of those of the wicked getting the sores and the horrible pain, and that they're not able to die. So all of this, again, family, is part of what has been written, and it's come to pass right now. Right now, the answer that you have for your life going forward lies in Father Yahweh and what the Son has brought you. Right now, you have a choice to make. It's either truth or a lie, life or death. And even Father Yah has told you to choose wisely and to choose life.
Now, as we go forward, moving into the future, watching the situation in which America now claims that the Trumpet Blower, Donald Trump, for their thing, he's escalating his assault on some civil and military relations. Well, that's not what's taking place. Right now, what is taking place is all the ignorance of those that even served time with me in the military, found themselves selling out to the unrighteous. They found themselves selling out to those who wanted to do nothing more than bring destruction upon America. They found themselves being in high positions where they were able to pass what they classified to be secret documents that no one would know about but them. And now it's coming back to haunt them for the simple fact that as they passed on documents to what would have been the one and who would have been buying the secrets were nothing more than undercover agents of truth, undercover agents of peace, undercover agents of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And now those undercover agents are making sure that they let the whole entire world know that this we must serve to them is called justice, based upon the fact that they have been nothing more than criminals at any would-be level. They have been nothing more than criminals. As Donald Trump himself made the statement, I am going to Washington not to become one of them, but I'm going to go to drain the swamp. I don't know if he knows just how deep the swamp really was when he made that statement. I don't know if he's ever truly been in a swamp. And many of you that know what Louisiana is like, I'm pretty sure that you recognize and realize that I am a swamp boy. I know the swamp well. I've been out there. I've seen the crocodiles at night, the alligators, which they are two different types. One long mouth and the other one has a short mouth, kind of wide. Yes, I've been out there. When even you can see the mosquitoes themselves in the darkness, you can still see him. That's kind of hard to do in the dark in the swamp, but it can be done. Yes, I've been in the swamp for it every now and then. You have to be very, very careful about where you step. But you have to realize that sometimes there's something out there that's called quicksand. It's nothing more than a muddy hole with a lot of water in it. And once you step into it, it's kind of hard to get out. The best thing that you can do is just lie up on the ground and put it on the side of it rather than to try to step forward to get out of it. Yes, the swamp brings on a lot of things. And it's very difficult once one finds himself in the swamp. It's very difficult to get out. One will find himself running, only to find that right as he's coming out of the swamp, if one does not duck, he might find himself, as I found myself once, being hung by something that is known as a barbed wire fence. Stay with me. Don't leave me now. The swamp, once you're in it, it's very hard to get out. It's not something that's simple. And now, I would say to the trumpet blower, I know he's listening, you're in the swamp. Deal with it. You'll be fine. Let me help you out. Because the swamp is nothing more than a place. Man has been able to overcome all places. He's been able to conquer all places. He's been able to deal with all places. He's been able to improvise in all places. Let me help you out. Stay in the swamp. You'll be able to deal with the swamp because the swamp will not be able to deal with you if you know just what to do. And you'll come out. You'll come out of the swamp, and I guarantee you, a shower and a shave will do you well, but it won't change you on the inside, only on the outside. Stay in the swamp. Let's deal with it. I do know that now, dealing with the last would be 2 years, which is the 2 years in which the trumpet blower has been blowing the trumpet now, giving him a covenant time of blowing the trumpet. Remember, you have a Trinity time to blow the trumpet, and then you have a double covenant time to blow the trumpet. That will give you an entirety of 4 years. I say, once the trumpet stops blowing, knowing this is the 6th trumpet, the 7th trumpet will begin to sound. And Lord, to them who would have not yet understood the 6th trumpet, for the 7th trumpet will be one in which the angels will come down. One known as the 7th angel will be blowing it, and he alone will be able to give all answers. He and he alone will be the one in whom my Father will look to and say, you've done well. Job well done. But again, heavenly things are confusing to the people of the world. Whereby now, I say to the trumpet blower, Donald J. Trump, you have a long way to go. You have retired generals that are falling now, left and right. But many of them are the same ones that were young boys then. They worked alongside of those that would have been the Rockefellers, the Roosevelts, the Rothschilds. Yes, they worked along with the Windsors. They worked along with all the so-called cameras. They worked alongside of those that would have been nothing more than relatives of those that were known as May and Merkel and Macron, and those that are classified to be of the other nations now. Nothing more than relatives. Yes, and it must be known as the truth.
We're on the United Nations call. I want to say to the United Nations, the United Nations is aware of hearing a certain would-be sound during the year, in which is done in a lot of areas in those nations, such as the United Kingdom. They're done in France. They're done in Canada. It's done in the United States of America. In order to hear a sound that comes to the people, but people never get to hear the sound. It's always done by those that classify themselves to be representatives of the people. I want to make that sound now so the people that are listening will be able to understand that once the United Nations and all those nations like the United States and France, even Germany hears it. And I want to make the sound so they'll know that even during the time of the so-called Great Church of Notre Dame, which was nothing more than a cathedral that even featured something known as that which was known as the one they called Costamato. Costamato was nothing more than the individual that they classified to be the Hunchback of Notre Dame, or Notre Dame. The Hunchback of Notre Dame was one that was ringing a bell of warning to the people in the town, so they would recognize when the evil was upon them, or when they were going to be overran by the so-called leaders of the town. Once they would be destroyed by the leaders of the town was going to take the people's rights and destroy the people. And Costamato was one who was ringing the bell of warning. We do know that now, in the year that has just passed us, 2019, that Costamato, if we might deem him to be such, has been ringing the bell. He has become that, once again, ugly individual that everyone wants to keep him in a position where he's somehow secluded or excluded from the whole world. And whereby we know that Costamato is classified as the trumpet blower himself, the one in whom everyone has deemed to be the trumpet. For we know that Donald J. Trump has been ringing the bell, so to speak, by blowing of the trumpet, a sound that's bringing warning to all of the universe. Not that he's bringing a warning to destroy them, but it is one to let them know that destruction is upon the nation and upon the world, whereby everyone must now begin to start showing his face of concern to give that in which is to back to the world to be able to protect everyone. Even though his people now are preparing to bring him before all the people as if though Costamato has finally been captured, they're going to prepare to try to destroy him. They're going to try to put him in a position where all the people will come down with pitchforks and fires and torches waiting to shine a light upon the one that they want to destroy off the planet because of his ability to warn the people against the destruction in which now will be upon the universe. So as I make this sound, I want you, United Nations, to recognize it in its fullness. It sounds a bit like this. It goes, hear ye, hear ye. I repeat, it sounds like this. It goes, hear ye, hear ye. What happens after the hear ye is normally they make a proclamation to the whole entire people that's hearing it. The proclamation is one whereby it brings them an understanding of the entirety of what is going on and what will happen to the people thereafter. This hear ye now sound in which is being brought to all of the nations of the universe must realize that it is a hear ye, a call, a proclamation to let the world and the people know to prepare yourself for the completeness of that which will be brought against those that are in concern of the world, to be those that will be deemed the unrighteous. The unrighteous will rebel. The unrighteous will come to a point of total nothing more than a destructive mind with a destructive heart and with a destructive spirit to be able to fight against those of the righteous with the one mind, with the one heart, and with the one spirit of truth, based upon love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. They will begin to fight the war of unrighteous and the righteous. This war will not end it will go from being a war to the Battle of Armageddon. And thereafter, after the Battle of Armageddon, will only there be peace upon earth once again, where all of the things that one might want to celebrate or to be able to say that we are finally saved will only be there after the battle. United Nations, this is your call. I say welcome to it. I know. It sounds as if though I'm happy. Let me tell you, I'm overjoyed. I'm so much now prepared and anticipating the coming year of 2020, the year of hindsight, insight, and final sight of what will be happening upon the earth. That is going to be a serious consequence for all of the unrighteous of the planet. Let us start by at least identifying who we are and to maintain the purpose of why we're here. And at the same time, those that still have disbelief in us, I say, make your New Year's resolution. That's what you call it. Make it now. Perhaps maybe you just want to lose weight or stop eating some would-be food substance in which you've been eating. Go ahead, make your resolution. It might save your life. If not, you can assure yourself that when 2021 comes in, you will not be present for the celebration. But let's go forward. It's not to put you in fear, to warn you. Let's just say Cosmodo still has a voice of many. Cosmodo will not be able to be destroyed by anyone on the planet, especially not those that are of the unrighteous world, whereby they want to project Cosmodo as being something wicked to the world when only he brings the warning to the people of the universe for safety.